So the over-policing in DC, coming right up. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Common Sense, Logic, and Reason. And as always, I want to say thank y'all for joining today. So, as y'all know, leftists use deflection as a tactic. Again, they have to do this because very rarely can they rely on facts, evidence, and data to support their narrative. And, well, black victims are leftists. And these black victims are always finding ways to try to explain away all the self-inflicted issues in the black community. You know, they blame systematic racism. And this is part of what I call race hustle rhetoric. You know, and over-policing is an example of race hustle rhetoric. Now, they'll claim that, you know, that there's more police in the black community. And as a result of having more police in the black community, that means that you'll have more, that the crime rates are going to be higher. You know, they claim that white people commit just as much crime as black people, but because there are more police in the black community, police officers are more likely to capture crime or more likely to find evidence of crime because there are more police there. Now, that's the running theory that, you know, the more police equals higher crime rates. That's the running theory. Now, they have no evidence to support that running theory. They're just theorizing stuff that they don't know is true. They have no data to support it because, again, it's just a deflectionary tactic. It's just a deflection away from personal responsibility and holding black people accountable for black behavior in our community. Well, to those who believe this, that the reason why the crime rates are so much more higher amongst black people is because there are more police, and the police officers, because there are more police, that means that police officers are more likely to find a crime. Then can anyone of them explain what's going on in DC, in Washington, DC? As we know, Donald Trump brought in the National Guard to try to stifle crime in DC, which was what people are saying are very noticeable. I hear a lot of people are saying, you know, if you go to DC, you want to stick to the tourist areas. And even then, you know, you have homeless people near the White House and stuff like that. Well, Trump brought in the National Guard to try to stifle that. And as a result of this, crime is down significantly in 2025. And then we haven't even gotten to the end of it yet. We just toward the tail end of the middle of 2025. At this point right now, in 2025, homicides are down by 31%. They say reportedly that carjacking is down 41%. And it dropped to 32% because of aggressive enforcement in 2024. Again, more policing. So if more police equals more crime, then why hasn't the crime rates in DC gone up significantly because of all the over-policing that we see going on in DC right now? Right now, crime in DC should be up significantly due to having the National Guard there. In reality, the truth is that policing does not make crime go up. In reality, policing actually is a deterrent to crime. More police in the area is actually going to be a deterrent to people who are going to commit a crime. And we all know this is true, even if there's people out there who won't admit it, we know this is true because anybody if you're driving in your vehicle and you're driving down the road and you look in your rearview mirror and you see a police officer behind you, do you think that person is going to drive more careful or more reckless? Or that person is going to hit the gas and then put the metal to the pedal, put the metal to the floor and take off and drive recklessly? No, they're going to drive. People typically, when they see police officers, they slow down. They drive a lot more careful when they see police officers. So don't tell me that more authority, more police equals crime. As I said, more authority is going to be a deterrent to crime. So That argument and that narrative from black people is shot so they can, you can know, basically, thanks to DC, and not just DC, but we could also look at what happened in New York with Stop and Frisk. Police started implementing more heavy policing tactics. Crime immediately dropped in New York because of that. So you cannot tell me that more policing causes more crime when we see the evidence that says otherwise. So anyone out there who says that the crime rate is higher because there are more police in the black community, you have to explain this. You have to explain this then. You have to explain how the crime rates are going down in DC and how crime rates typically go down any place where heavy policing is implemented. So that narrative is flawed, and you can no longer use over policing as the means to deflect away from the high crime rates committed amongst black people and black people's behavior. Anyway, y'all, that's my 2 cents on this. And as always, until next time.